welcome to a special bonus episode of Bean to Barstool. I'm your host, David Nilsen, with intro and exit music by my dear friend Anna P.S. I might ruffle some feathers on this bonus episode, so grab some hot chocolate or coffee or beer or whatever you want to drink and settle in for a few minutes. I'm going to explain why I think you should avoid using generative AI for your craft chocolate business, especially in any public-facing capacity like graphics or visual design or copywriting. And while I think there are a lot of reasons why this is harmful technology, and I will explain them, I want to primarily focus on why I think for business reasons this is detrimental for what you're trying to do as a craft chocolate company. First of all, let's define what we mean by AI. I am not against automation or technology or modern efficiencies. This is, after all, a podcast, and it's being marketed on social media. We all have to make some compromises for efficiency and visibility. But when we talk about AI in this episode, we're not using that in a generic way to mean any kind of computing. We're talking about large language model AI. This kind of AI, which you know by names like ChatGPT and Claude and a number of others, is trained on massive amounts of published and private data to approximate human language and conversation. And it's this that I think is something best avoided by craft chocolate makers. I'm going to keep this direct and succinct because I know you don't want to just listen to me complain. But as I said, I think there are concrete business reasons I think you should avoid using this. First off, though, let's talk about some ecological reasons. The data centers that process AI requests use a massive amount of fresh water and electrical energy. It contributes to climate change. This depletes groundwater and in some cases contaminates or drains local water sources. Craft chocolate is partly built on the idea of agricultural sustainability. The idea that if we're going to justify a luxury treat like craft chocolate, we need to do it in a way that doesn't strip resources from the land and further harm the climate. Climate change will affect and already is affecting cacao farming. We need to rethink using technology that has a disproportionately harmful environmental impact. Next, from a human rights standpoint, if craft chocolate stands for anything, it's that human workers should be adequately paid for their labor, and that providing paid work opportunities is a worthy justification for luxury purchases such as chocolate. It's hypocritical to promote paying workers and then take jobs away from artists and designers by using generative AI, especially when that technology is trained on the unpaid and stolen writing, artwork, photography, and research of other creatives. Imagine if someone were stealing your chocolate bars, melting them down into a bad imitation, and then calling themselves a craft chocolate maker without ever paying you a dime. That's what this technology is doing to writers and artists. That alone should be a deal breaker. From a philosophical standpoint, though, it is contradictory to say there's something different about small batch craft and artisan production, and then give creativity over to a soulless technology that is inflating the hypothetical wealth of a billionaire on a yacht somewhere. You are laboring over your chocolate product, the cacao beans, the inclusions, your exact processes, your accumulated knowledge and time and labor and expertise, and then you're packaging that and presenting it to your customers with care. It's like sending a bit of your heart and brain out into their hands, and we justify all of this effort and the cost of it because we believe they can recognize the quality and creativity of a small batch product made with care. That deserves to be marketed with the same attention to detail, both for ethical reasons, like I just shared, but also for purely business reasons. We're undermining that human connection and intention by having generative AI spit out a poor facsimile of human creativity. People can generally recognize AI-generated graphics. You will not hear me saying AI art because no such thing exists. Art requires a human being to make it. But we can recognize AI graphics most of the time. Some people don't care, but a lot of us definitely do. And a mounting percentage of the population actively dislikes AI-created imagery. A recent study found that the majority of respondents have a negative opinion of AI. Most of my colleagues in food and beverage journalism and in the arts fields who are going to hopefully want to tell some of your story actively dislike this technology. We are fully aware that our jobs are among the most vulnerable to the rise of AI, and that this technology plagiarizes our work. It was trained on our work without our permission or compensation, and shockingly, we don't love that. We have group chats and texts and private messages about this stuff, and trust me, they aren't positive. Can you believe this brewery is using AI designed canned labels now? Or ugh, this place used AI slop for their event flyer. Again, some folks won't care, but a lot of us do make purchase decisions and attendance decisions based on whether or not we see someplace using generative AI to market or not. I have made the professional decision not to promote or share anything with AI graphics or writing when I can identify it. Some people won't care, but why would you risk the ill will of a significant part of your customer base or potential customer base just to save some time? The potential consequences of doing this are not worth the small amount of time or money you will save. It changes my opinion of your work and your business. I know you're busy. I know margins are tight. AI can feel like a godsend because suddenly you can quickly and cheaply create graphics rather than having to do it yourself or pay someone else. But the trade-offs to your reputation are not worth it. The initial money and time you save, you will more than pay back over time with loss of reputation. We're being told this is an accessibility issue, which I find to be a deeply patronizing and problematic argument. People of every identity and situation always have and always will create art. We're being told this is inevitable. It is not. The fact is, not a single AI company currently has a sustainable business model. They need adoption on an unrealistic scale to even sniff profitability. And the reason it's being advertised to us so heavily as inevitable is because they need us to use it. You're going to be told that you're getting left behind if you don't use this, to which I say, by whom? From where? Show me on a map where you're going that I'm getting left behind from. To be honest, if the destination is creativity being outsourced to a plagiarism machine and slop being offered to us as art, then please leave me behind. I'll be here with the other artists and writers and makers, people who value not only the planet we live on, but human creativity and authenticity and connection. Creativity is hard work. It always has been. No technology is going to change that. Making something excellent with your mind and heart and hands is hard work, and it rarely pays well. There are other industries you could be in besides craft chocolate where you would make more money. You chose this industry because you recognize where something comes from matters, that the hands it passed through to get to you matter, that taking the time to do something right matters. If feeding prompts into a water-guzzling data center that makes a billionaire richer while stealing from artists fits your business philosophy, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure craft chocolate is the field for you. Remember why you got into this. I would rather you literally draw stick figures with markers than use this technology. The folks who don't care still won't care. The folks who do will proactively feel positively toward your intentional effort. There are ways to get graphics without going broke. You're not going to get left behind. If you want to reach out to me about some potential ideas for how you can do that, I would be happy to have more conversations around that. Okay, that's the end of my rant. Thanks for listening through this. As you can tell, I feel quite passionately about this, both as a creative person and as somebody who appreciates other people's creative work. All right, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a standard episode. Thanks for listening to Bean to Barstool. Cheers.